nursing school is a lot of things, but it's not impossible. I still went out. I went to HBCU homecomings. I went out with my friends. I spent time with my family. I went to go see my boyfriend. I spent time with my boyfriend. Like, I did everything that I wanted to do because nursing school will do you in. I'm talking about do you in if you allow it. I wasn't going. Will stress you out enough on its own. You do not need anything or anybody adding additional stress onto your life. I was an avid crammer before nursing school. There's not much grace in nursing programs. That's what I would say. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Denasia, but you can call me Nay, and that is no-E. So today's video is going to be a video that I've been saying I was going to do for a very long time now. It's kind of just going to be about answering a lot of those deep questions y'all ask me about as far as nursing school goes. So this video is going to just kind of be an all-encompassing video about the truth about nursing school. I'm not going to sugarcoat anything, but I'm also not going to be fear-mongering how some of these people do. Like, nursing school is a lot of things, but it's not impossible. Okay, there's millions of nurses in the world. I'm doing it. Thousands of other people have done it, and you can do it too. So I just wanted to start the video off on a positive note. And also, I hope y'all are enjoying the quality because I'm filming this video on my new camera. Yes, new camera. I'm actually not very happy about having to buy a new camera. The only reason I bought one is because my camera broke on Christmas Eve. My Canon M200, it broke on Christmas Eve. It won't turn on. So I had to get a new camera. And I got the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. And I like it so far. But we'll see once I edit this footage and I see what it's giving. But so far, I do think I like it. So yeah, and of course, every time I do a talking video, a sit down video, I always do my makeup or get ready or do something while I'm doing it, just because if I just sit in front of the camera and talk, this video will sound a mess. Cause I don't know. I just talk a little bit better when I can treat it like a conversation. Like, I'm just getting ready with my homegirl. Me and my homegirl, we're just getting ready, chilling, all that of the such. So let me pull out my iPad because I did have some notes, just so I have a flow of how I want this video to go and it's not all over the place. And then we'll get started. Anyways, before we get started, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. I recently hit 5K, so now we're on the road to 10K. And this camera was definitely an investment, a $750 investment. So please, like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all the socials, all the things. But yeah, let's get right into the video. Okay, so I thought the best way to do this video would kind of be to start with the bad. I know, I hate even talking about the bad, and that's the reason why I do feel obligated to say something, because I'm not that channel that's always talking about how depressing nursing school is. Like, don't get me wrong, I have my moments, but for the most part, I show me having fun, I show me going out, I show me getting good grades on my exams. Like, I show all of the good stuff, and I do feel like I wouldn't be doing my duty if I didn't share all of the not so good stuff on my platform as well. So something I was really not prepared for, or I didn't know, or I wasn't expecting at all when I went into nursing school, is that a lot of nursing students are depressed, y'all. I'm not kidding. I know it sounds very bad to say, but no, a lot of people are depressed. And I had to do a paper on this on a study for one of my classes, and it was a statistic where it was basically saying approximately half of all nursing students are at some type of risk for suicide. And that really hit me because I was thinking about it, and I don't think nursing school necessarily is the sole cause of things like that. But I will say is the conditions that you're put under in nursing school, it's the prime conditions that if there was anything underlying going on mentally, anything else going on in your life, it's the prime conditions for all of that to come up. I'm not gonna lie. Like, for example, me, when I first started nursing school, I had always had a little anxiety. Like, I've always been a little anxious. I think I got more so anxious after COVID. I don't know why, but I've always been a little anxious. Like, I've been a bit of an anxious person, but it was nothing that affected my life, you know? Like, I could get by it. It wasn't anything that was causing me distress on a day-to-day basis. Therefore, it was nothing I saw. Like, I wouldn't even say I had anxiety. I thought I was just experiencing normal human emotions. And I felt that way pretty much until sorry y'all. I felt that way until I started nursing school, and I noticed that the normal anxiety I was used to experiencing, it got, I would say, 10 times worse in the matter of the first 3 weeks. It was to the point where I was really, really struggling. Like, my mom was concerned. And I was doing fine in school. So that's the thing. Like, struggling will not always, especially for people like me where failure is not an option. Bad grades are not an option. You know, struggling will not always come in the form of a bad grade. In the form of not being able to fulfill your obligations. Sometimes, like, I was just struggling. I would come home every day and I was so stressed. It was to the point where I had like a chronic toothache because I was just grinding my teeth every day, every night. And I was so anxious to the point where, like, every time I would close my eyes and try to go to sleep, or every time I would try to relax or try to calm down, like, it was like constant wearing. Like, I just could not stop. It was so bad. Like, no matter where I was, what I was doing, I was constantly anxious, constantly stressed, and like, it was getting really bad. Like, and when I get stressed, my stress comes out in physical symptoms. I don't know why, but like, I break out in bumps all over my face. Like, I get like these really bad stress bumps all over my face. Or like the grinding my teeth, or I eat, which is really bad because, like, I'm pretty sure I gained my first semester of nursing school. I'm pretty sure like I gained at least 20 pounds, which is insane because my first semester was only 13 weeks. It probably wasn't 20. I'm dragging it. But I know I gained like 15 pounds that first semester. Like, the before and after picture, because, like, it was insane. It was actually insanity. Like, my face just looked so round. It was really bad. And so, when people say that nursing school is hard, I feel like we're doing nursing students and future nursing students a disservice, because when you say something is hard, especially relating to school, people will assume that the content is hard. That is not why nursing school is hard at all, actually. I actually find the content, depending on the class, to be very digestible. It's not that hard. What makes nursing school hard is, for one, there is a million other things that you're not used to doing that you're gonna have to do other than exams, other than your class work. Your lecture work and assignments and tests is only a small fraction of what is expected of you in nursing school. There is a million other things that you will have to do and you will be expected to do throughout your time in nursing school, other than your exams. And on top of that, you still do have to do very well on your exams. Most nursing schools require a 70% exam average to pass. And sometimes some even more. Like, so on top of all that, on top of you taking these hard exams, like I said, the content is not hard, but the exams are very hard because the way nursing school questions are asked, it's very challenging. It's a type of question that you've probably never been asked before in your life, or the way that the nursing school questions are asked, you've probably never seen a question be asked like that ever, you know, because it's just not the normal way that we're used to hearing or seeing questions being asked on tests. It's not testing, do you know the information? Do you understand what this is? Do you understand what this that? It's actually testing, can you think like a nurse? Can you think like a nurse? And on top of that, because nursing is never black and white, neither are the answers to the test. So technically on a test, sometimes you'll have 2 to 3 right answers out of 4. But there's always a best answer. There's always something the best nurse would do. Nurses might do any of these 3 things, but what is the best thing to do? And learning how to answer questions like that is honestly just a learned skill. It's literally a skill. Like, I can't stress that enough. And I'll talk more about that in the end, because I'm already getting all over the place, y'all. So let me refer to my notes. Let me get back on track. On top of the test being hard, you're expected to do other things. So for example, like, I'll tell you guys a typical day in my life. My first semester of nursing school. Keep in mind, I am in an accelerated program, so my first semester was accelerated. The way my accelerated program is, only your first and your last semester are accelerated. The other 2 semesters are regular length. So I would have 2 classes on Monday. Tuesday, I would have 1 class. Then I would have open lab after class on Tuesday. Open lab is basically where you can come and practice your skills before checkoffs. Wednesdays, I would have lab from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So all day lab. Thursday, I would have clinical all day, 10 hours. And then there's also like various little things that you'll just have to do throughout the semesters. Like, we had like this convention at UT Southwestern that we had to do that basically had healthcare workers from across different platforms, and then we figured out scenarios together. So like, basically it helps you practice working in an interdisciplinary team. So it had like social work students, medical students, like all the students basically, and we had to practice how we would all work together in our individual roles in the hospital, which it was actually a very nice, I liked it. But again, like, you're just busy. And on top of just going to all that, you have to make time to study. You have to study. You're not going to pass those tests without studying. You have to make time to practice your skills, because depending on your program, you're going to have skills check-offs ever so often. Some programs, you only get 2 chances. Some you get 3. Like, but either way, when nobody wants to redo this stuff. So you're having to, practice these skills. On top of that, a lot of programs expect perfection. I'm sure when you go to your orientation, they'll have some like thing about mental illness and taking care of your mental health and all that. But there's so contradiction, because the rules of the program are expecting these students to exhibit essentially perfection. There's not much grace in nursing programs. That's what I would say. They don't give you grace for life. Not even for just life. Things come up. Clinical, if you're late, you miss a day, you're so behind. Like, there's no grace. And that's what I would say makes it hard. And that's honestly where that anxiety for me, I think, came in, because there was no grace. I felt the need to be perfect, because you do need to be perfect, or you need to be pretty close to it, because if you mess up, in a lot of cases, like, depending on your program, depending on specific rules or what you mess up, that's it for you. You're done. Or if you're not done, you gotta sit out a whole semester. Nobody wants to do that. So I was constantly anxious all of the time, which leads me to something I'm going to say. This is probably some advice you'll get from nursing school from me that you probably won't get from anyone else, but I truly stick beside it, and I do think it's important. You know yourself. You know if you have something that you've been struggling with. You know if you have any underlying mental health conditions. Especially like in the Black community, we tend to not want to be medicated, not want to deal with those things. But I promise you, if you wait until you were knee deep in nursing school to try to get it under control, you will make life 20 times harder on yourself, and take it from a person who did it. So I told y'all I was struggling with that anxiety my first semester in nursing school. Y'all, I got on some medication. I would say in probably 2 weeks, I was fine. Was I still, struggling a little bit? Yeah. But it made things much better for me. It made everything much more doable, and I actually was a better student because of it. You're not going to perform to your best when you're anxious, when you're depressed, when you're whatever you're going through. You're not going to perform to your best ability. Like, even my clinical instructor, said to me, oh, you've grown so much this semester. And, we had an honest conversation about it. I was just nervous. I knew what I was doing. I was just anxious all the time. I knew what I was doing. I'm very competent. I was just anxious. And that's what I would say is, prior to starting nursing school, I believed I was also a very resilient person. Okay, if you would have asked me before nursing school, would I ever be taking any type of psychiatric medication, I would say no. Because, I was a part of the problem. I also believe, I helped maintain that stigma because I was just not with it. I was, medication. I feel like that Queen Key song, medication. But seriously, if you know you struggle with something, whether that's depression, OCD, anxiety, I would say before you start nursing school, please try to get it addressed in some way, because nursing school is the perfect conditions for you to break. And it sounds so bad, but it really is the perfect condition for you to break, okay? I would say get it addressed. And if you're that opposed to medication, it doesn't have to be medication. Whether it's therapy, or something else that you can do to try to, address whatever issue you have, do it. Now that I got my little scenario out of the way about your mental health, because y'all, I really, I've seen it happen. I've seen people break. I've seen people crumble under the pressure, and it's all avoidable if we would just know what to do, and if people felt like they had the help. If y'all are ever struggling, you can always come to me, baby. Me and my subscribers be like this. We be like this. People DM me all the time, and I be talking to y'all. I be responding. Some of my subscribers I've even become friends with. I'm always here, okay? I know people say that, but I actually mean it. Now we're gonna go into the academic reality of nursing school. So the truth about the academics of nursing school. So I told y'all that I don't think that the actual content is the reason why nursing school is so hard. I think it's a combination of, you have a million other expectations, a million other things you need to do, a million other priorities, and then also the questions are complex and it's a learned skill. And then also, it's just a lot of information. So that's what I tell people. The information is not even necessarily hard, but the amount of information that they put on these tests and expect you to know. And not only do you need to know the information, you need to understand the information. You need to know how to apply the information. You basically need to be a pro at this information. That is where the academics gets hard. It's not even that the information is just so hard, because it's really not. Honestly, it's really not that hard. Because Even my first test of nursing school, I completely bombed them. I bombed them so bad because I'm just like, oh, like, this is a piece of cake. This is a cake where I'm like, I'm in lecture like, what the freak? This is the nursing school y'all was talking about? I'm in lecture talking big mess. I'm like, this is common sense. Who's not getting this? I got to that test. My behind was handed to me because that's not what the questions are going to ask you. Like, I can't even explain it. I recently did a very in-depth video about how I study, so definitely go watch that video for an in-depth explanation of how to study in nursing school. But I will briefly tell you a few things that I think will help you, you know, kind of prepare you for how academics are in nursing school. So my biggest thing is you need to study consistently. The fact that there's so much information, I was an avid crammer before nursing school. You would never catch me studying for anything. If I even studied, honestly, like, I was one of those people. If I even studied, but you would definitely not catch me studying any more than a day before the test. Like, me, I was one of them, like, cram. I really didn't even cram because I wouldn't even, like, I just wouldn't study. But you need to study consistently. Even if that's 10-20 minutes a day, even if, like, it's not that long, you need to be every day, or at least, like, you know, most days, you need to be touching some type of information. I'm not saying you have to spend 5-6 hours a day studying. I would never tell y'all that because I don't do that. But you do need to study fairly frequently, like, even if it's just 20-30 minutes a day. Like, for example, what I would try to do is I would try to set a time that works for me every day. If you can't, because like I said, your schedule's so out of whack every day. If you can't find a time that works every day, you can do different times. But if you do it every day at the same time, it does help create a habit so that you can make sure that you're doing it every day. But I would just create a time every day at this time. I'm gonna study for 30 minutes. Whether that's a Quizlet, whether that's watching a YouTube video, whether that's just going over my notes. Every day at this time, I will be doing some type of studying every day for 30 minutes, okay? That alone helps so much, guys. So much. Like, I'm not even playing. That alone helps so much. Why is my makeup turning out ugly today? I don't like it. Let me give it time to get itself together. But, like, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I think it might be my skin because I didn't even like it when I put on the foundation. And this is my favorite foundation, so I'm confused. And then my second tip is you need to be doing practice questions. And when I tell you it's not, like, negotiable, it's not an option, I just told y'all that the way nursing questions are asked is going to be something it's a learned skill. How do you learn a skill? Practice. You're going to have to practice. Like, the way the questions are asked in nursing school, I can't even explain it. You'll see it when you start taking the test. And the only way you can prepare for that is to practice. Like I said, they do come up with some off-the-wall, trifling questions to ask. However, there's only so many ways you can ask about heart failure. And you'll notice, especially if you do, like, a lot of practice questions, you'll notice that a lot of these practice questions, they ask about the same stuff. People in nursing, they like to ask about the same things for every, like, disease or concept or whatever, and you'll start noticing the pattern if you do a lot of practice questions. Like, for example, you'll notice that, like, I use this example all the time, like, particularly with tuberculosis, you get asked about the same things. You're gonna get asked about the drugs, which is rifampin, and I think I can't say it. I just know what stuff is, how to recognize it on a piece of paper, but I can't say a lot of the drugs, which I'm gonna try to work on that. The side effects of those and how long treatment needs to be. You're going to get asked about the airborne precautions. Airborne precautions. You'll get asked about that. And then you'll also get asked about how the process of documenting the transmission, for example, and like educating. So like, does the patient's family need to wear masks? Stuff like that. You'll just start noticing these patterns. You'll be like, okay. And when you notice those patterns, don't just notice them. Notice them, write them down, and study them. Make sure you know that, okay? Because it's no help to be like, oh, I knew this was going to be on the test. You still don't know the answer. If you're catching my drift. Okay. Additionally, another thing that I don't hear a lot of people talk about, but I'm sure people may be curious, so I'll just talk about it for a little bit. The assignments in nursing school, I don't find them to be challenging at all, like whatsoever. It's honestly just a lot of busy work, in my opinion. I rarely have assignments that are like actually assignments that are like challenging and I would need to use like my real brain power to do it. But there are a lot of assignments. So that's how my nursing school is, at least. Like, the assignments are not hard. They're not anything crazy. But there is a lot of them. So since there's a lot of them, you do need to make sure that you're staying on top of your assignments. What I do is I usually dedicate the first day in that week. So my nursing school, generally, all of our assignments are usually due on one day. Like, it's usually Sunday, or each class has its own day. So like, it'll be like med search assignments are due on Friday, psych assignments are due on Saturday, and nursing research assignments are due on Sunday. It'll be like that. I usually just do it all on the first day, so I consider that first day the due date for all the assignments. So for example, this past semester my med search assignments were due on Fridays. So I would just make sure I had all my assignments done by Friday so that I can kind of enjoy my weekend. And if I had to study, then I could just use my weekend to study rather than doing busy work. That didn't make sense to me, so I just didn't do it. That didn't make sense to me at all, actually. So I would usually just use the first day in the week. So Monday, I would get all my assignments done on Monday. On Monday, I would and they're not hard, so it's not like it's like just stressing you out to do them all in one day. Like, I would just sit in my bed. Like, I would use that honestly the day like to relax and prepare for the week. Like, I would sit in my bed and I would do my assignments and I would watch TV while I did them. Like, it would not be anything crazy. And that works really well for me, especially just having them out of the way throughout the week, because like I would get really tired throughout the week, especially because this past semester I didn't have any days off during the week. So like every day I had something that I was supposed to be doing, whether that was clinical or going to class or exams or whatever it was. Every day something. It was something every day. Every day it was something. So having my assignments done really helped me a lot, because that way when I got out of clinical on Friday, I'm not having to go home and do assignments. I could just go home and mind my business. I could go home, relax, go home and do whatever I wanted to do, but it was not an assignment. Another thing I do want to say in this video about your about the academics of nursing school, I want to talk about skills. So the way my nursing school does it, and I'm sure most other nursing schools do it this way as well, is we have lab where basically you learn the skills. And then after lab, at some point throughout the semester, you'll have a checkoff. In my school, we usually do our first checkoff is usually in the sim lab with a standardized patient. And then our second checkoff is usually at the bedside with our clinical instructor, like in the real life scenario. Make sure you guys practice for your skills checkoffs. I added a lot of unnecessary stress to myself because I don't know why, but I just refused to practice for my skills checkoffs. I don't know why I did that. Like, because even if, like, you know how to do it, your nursing school has a specific way that they want you to do it. And, like, for example, for us, we have to do everything 100% or we would not pass the skills checkoff. So, for example, like, I'm trying to think of something. I got one. So, for example, every semester we have to do a medication administration checkoff. And depending on the semester, depends like what kind of checkoff, what kind of medication you're administering. Like the first semester was PO, obviously. The second semester it might be like sub-Q and IM, and then like the third semester it'll be like IV push or whatever. Like that's not the actual ones. I'm just saying like it just got more complex or more. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Either way, like for example, when we do medication administration checkoffs, we have to verbalize the 5 rights of medication administration. In real life, you would not say that out loud. Like you would not be at the patient's bedside like saying like, right patient, John Doe, birth date 1886, right dose, the dose is da da da. Like you would not be doing all that at the bedside. But for our checkoffs, that is what we have to do to pass. So if you don't practice doing everything the way that your institution wants it done, when it comes down to that checkoff, the probability of success is very low. It is, because it's muscle memory, honestly. And realistically, once I'm done with my checkoff, I throw it out of my head. You don't actually do, like, of course you verify, you make sure you're giving the right stuff and you verify the dose. But no one is actually at the patient's bedside like, right patient, right dose, right time, right route, right, Also, one thing I do want to do a video. Let me know if you guys will want this, but I have been thinking about doing a video about what to expect for clinicals, and like just a sole video about clinical. A lot of people have asked me to do that, but I don't know what specifically they're asking me to talk about. Like, clinicals to me are very dumb, honestly. Because at least at my school, like, we spent the whole first semester not being able to do anything, really. Like, we couldn't do jack. So, it was just dumb to me. Now, I do enjoy clinicals a little bit more. Even though I hated the hospital I was at last semester, I do enjoy clinicals a lot more now that I can do more stuff. Because I do feel like now, like, I'm actually getting prepared to be a nurse. But, like, that first semester, I was so annoyed even being there because I felt like it was a huge waste of time, because we could only give, first of all, we couldn't even give meds for the first half of the semester. And then the second half of the semester, the only meds we could give were PO meds. In the hospital, a lot of the PO meds, unless the patient is about to be discharged, are just the non-important medications. So like, it was nothing to, not the non-important, every medication is important, but like, it would be like a laxative, like it would be stuff like that. And it's just like, I don't know, I didn't feel like it was preparing me to actually be a nurse. Because like, why have I been in nursing school for this long and I don't know how to do a sub-Q injection? What the freak? Now, luckily, the second semester we could do all that. We could give any med, like, really. I mean, there were certain meds we can't give, such as like IV, you know, what's it called? IV, what am I trying to say? Oh, we couldn't give IV narcotics, or like we couldn't give just like random stuff like IV vasopressors, all that. But like they don't really give, at least where I live, they don't give that in on med surg floors. They give that in the ICU. Not IV narcotics, they give that on med surg floors. But like I mean like like you would never see an IV vasopressor on a med surg floor. Maybe a step down, but we didn't go to step down. We went to med surg floors only, or like oncology and stuff. So we would never see stuff like that anyway, so I didn't really care. So the second semester, I do feel like I learned a lot more, and I do feel as though the second semester actually taught me some things that I can take into practice, and I feel like I know a lot more skills. But yeah, y'all do want that video, let me know. But like, let me know specifically what you want me to talk about. You want me to talk about the instructors? You want me to talk about how to prepare for clinicals? Like, what do y'all be wanting me to talk about? I don't know. Like, I just don't be know. I don't know what I would say for a full video about clinical. But yeah. I'm not liking my makeup today, y'all, and I don't know why. It looks really bad, actually. I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. It's probably because I was talking and not paying attention. But that's sex. Because why does my makeup look like this? What did I ever do to y'all? Okay, now we're just gonna do like random things that I wanted to put in here but didn't really fit in a category. One thing I wanted to say is the importance of a support system. So specifically, I just saw a video yesterday and I wanted to talk about it because I think it was a little stupid, or it was a little, I get what she meant, but at the same time, like, I don't know about all that. They were basically saying don't go into nursing school with a boyfriend. I get the idea behind it, but I kind of don't. Because one thing I do want to stress to you is the importance of building a support system. I understand everybody does not have like as good of a relationship with their family as I do. But it does not have to be your family. It can be friends. It could be people you meet in nursing school. But trying to do nursing school alone, I'm not even sure it's possible. But if it is, I don't think it will make it any easier. You really should, even just for life, but specifically while you're in nursing school, you're going to need people to lean on. And I do think that you can be in a relationship in nursing school, and I think your relationship cannot suffer. Only thing I will say is it's gonna take a lot of being understanding from yourself and your partner, because you also have to make sure that you're not being a bad partner. Like, just because you had a sucky day don't mean you can come home or, you know, get on the phone with them and crash out on them. It doesn't mean that. But then it also is them understanding and being understanding of the fact that you have a priority that's bigger than them at this point. Like, at the end of the day, school is always my top priority, and it's going to be, because I have a goal that I want to meet. And this is where I kind of felt her when she said don't have a relationship in nursing school, where I can just say, like, if you know that the person that you're with, or, you know, whatever, is toxic or not supportive or selfish, any of that, anything that's going to cause you stress, that's where I agree. Because in nursing school will stress you out enough on its own. You do not need anything or anybody adding additional stress onto your life. Like, that's like incredibly selfish. Incredibly selfish. Like, I can't even describe the amount of selfish that is. But if you want it to work, you do not have to cut people off to be in nursing school, or you don't have to not date. You don't have to do any of that. Just make sure that the people around you are rooting for you, and make sure that you always keep your priorities in order, okay? Because you have a degree to get, and that should always be your #1 priority. Additionally, you need to make sure you're staying organized. I didn't really want to say all this stuff in this video because I feel like this is the stuff everybody says. Make sure you stay organized, all that. Which I do agree, all of it is true, but it's like, y'all heard it. I'm pretty sure y'all have heard it a lot. Everyone's gonna tell you to stay organized. Make sure you stay organized. But I just have to say it to make sure I said it, okay? And make sure you take time for yourself. Nursing school will eat your life up if you allow it, and you cannot let that happen, okay? I used to say this all the time. You have to do nursing school. You can't let nursing school do you, because nursing school will do you in. I'm talking about do you in if you allow it. I wasn't going. I was not going at all, actually. I was not going at all. I still go out. I mean, obviously I'm on break now, but like, even when I wasn't on break, I still went out. I went to HBCU homecomings. I went out with my friends. I spent time with my family. I went to go see my boyfriend. I spent time with my boyfriend. Like, I did everything that I wanted to do. It's all about time management, and you have to want it. Like me, I want it. Failing was not an option, but neither was being miserable for a year. So you gotta learn how to do both. You gotta want it. You gotta be hungry. That's what I was saying. Like, I think a lot of people don't have a good work ethic, and nursing school will definitely point that out. You gotta want it. You gotta be hungry. Like me, by any means necessary. And like, luckily, I didn't have to do all this. But if that's what it would have took, if it would have took me not having a life for a year, or if it would have took me not going nowhere, or if it would have took me being in the house or not going studying 5 hours a day to get through nursing school, that's just what it would have took. And that's what I would have been doing, because you have to want it. You have to be hungry. You gotta have that drive. Like, I'm not playing, y'all. I just really want to see all y'all succeed. Like, I say it all the time. Every time somebody comments under my video and they're like, oh, they're about to start nursing school, or they just graduated, or they're taking their prerequisites, whatever, I'm always just gonna go so hard for y'all, because I understand and I want to see everybody succeed. Like, a lot of y'all don't even know, but I started an organization my junior year of high school called the Society of Black Students in Healthcare, to basically just give opportunities and help students that are pursuing careers in healthcare. You know, just help them succeed, help them find resources, help them find opportunities, help them with all that. And honestly, that passion of mine, like, I've always had a passion for helping people, especially black people, okay? Helping everybody, but specifically black people. And I just feel like that just sums up me as a person. I want to see everybody win, and honestly, if it don't hurt me to help you win, I'm always going to help. I'm always going to volunteer to share knowledge. I'm always going to, you know, go that extra mile for people, because I feel like I would want someone to do the same for me, you know? That's why, like, I reply to every comment. I answer every question. Well, everyone that I see. I answer every question. I answer every DM. And I answer them well. Like, I really be helping y'all. Like, I have people get in my DMs and ask me stuff that, like, honestly, I'm not even qualified to answer. But I'll do the research. Okay, I will, because I enjoy that. Like, that's really a passion of mine, and that's why I always said, like, having someone to lean on is so important in nursing school. Even if it's not family, even if it's a random girl on the internet, you just need people. And I know that everyone is not as fortunate to have the people that I've had in my life. Well, not have in my life. The people that have made it possible for me to be where I am today. My mom, my grandma, like, really that's it. But, you know. But it's several other people who have supported me along the way. But that's just who comes to mind when I think of people who have really put in the work. I'm talking about been here from the beginning. Like, those two people, like, oh my gosh. I always say, like, I can't wait until I can buy them the world, the sun, and the moon, okay? But yeah, in conclusion, I'm not trying to be like a negative Nancy or nothing in this video. That's why I decided to end on a positive note rather than start on a positive note and end on a negative one. In conclusion, nursing school's hard. The journey's hard. There's gonna be days when you feel like it's not possible. There's going to be days when you feel like you need to give up. But there will also be days where you're on top of the world. Where you just have such an amazing day at clinical that you come home and you're like, wow. Or there'll be days where a patient actually takes the time to, like, notice you and thank you. And, like, it just makes your whole day. And there'll be times where you do make the grade on that test. And all your hard work pays off. I always tell people to embrace the journey. That's what I'm doing. I'm clearly doing it, baby. I made a whole YouTube series about it. I'm embracing the journey because one day it's going to be over, okay? Don't get me wrong. I'm so ready for it to be over. But once it's over, I'll probably look back on it and be like, oh, you know? At least I embrace the journey, because you have to have some type of love for your nursing school journey, because nursing school for a lot of people is literally their key to the life of their dreams. That's what it is for me. Like, nursing is literally going to be the thing that secures me the life that I want and that I've always wanted. Anyways, I want y'all to take my favorite Bible verse with y'all. Actually, when I graduate nursing school, I'm going to get it tatted on me, okay? Luke 12:48, to whom much is given, much is required, okay? Nursing is a very rewarding career. Anyone who's lucky to get in it, to get that RN, that BSN RN behind their name is extremely blessed. So, of course, it's going to take hard work. Okay, of course, it's going to take some dedication. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. But in the end, it will be all worth it. Mwah. I'm going to come back to y'all once I take my hair down so y'all can see the full look. But for now, bye-bye. So that brings us to the end of today's video. As always, I had a time getting ready with y'all. Love y'all. And like I said, like I always say, I've already coined myself y'all's nursing school bestie. So if y'all have any questions, y'all have any video ideas that y'all want to see, I'm definitely down to do that. And like I said earlier, if y'all ever need anything, y'all got a question that you just don't want to leave in the comments, or you need some advice, or if you just want someone to talk to, I'm always here for y'all, because baby, I know it gets hard. Nursing, pre-nursing, already a nurse, all of it, okay? Just life itself. So yeah, I love you guys so much, and I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe, and follow me on my socials. They will be on the screen. And with that being said, I love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Also, let me know how y'all like the camera down below. What do y'all think? What is it giving? What's the vibes? Do we love it? Do we hate it? Please don't say y'all hate it because it was $750. But I can still take it back. Okay, I can still take it back. Let me know what y'all are thinking. And yeah, if y'all have any tips on how to use the camera. Oh, also, I'm taking critical care next semester. If you took the class, let me know. How do y'all feel about it? I don't never hear nobody talk about critical care, only med surg. So yeah, with that being said, I love y'all so much. Bye.
I don't even say bye no more. I be like, mwah, no balls.